Hello everyone, this is Murray Blue Angel here, and today I will be playing Snow White Ashes, which is a story based on the fairy tale Snow White, as the name suggests, and Little Red Riding Hood. And this visual novel was an entry for Once Upon a Time Visual Novel Jam just last year in the fall/winter. And that's how I found it. So I'm very excited to get into it and see exactly what happens. I also saw that this is labeled as under the dark romance genre, so we'll see exactly how dark of an adaptation this is for those two fairy tales. I'm very excited to see what exactly is going to happen. And it's nice to get a little bit of a sneak peek, so to speak, since this is a demo. I don't know much about the timeline for the full game, but I'm very excited nonetheless. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I walk through an ashen wood, alone. Frozen earth crunches, crick, crack, beneath my feet. Fat, blurry snowflakes fly by, aglow with the moon's bright light. I could never truly be lost, not on a night like this, when she shines so round and full, gazing down from the winter sky above. Still, I'd best look like I am. Why? Ooh, I like this line. We gotta pretend we're lost. I meander through ashen trails, between the birches, silver girths stripped with dark, around the trunks of pines that reach the sky, boughs buried with snow. Ooh, I really love birch trees. They're so pretty. I like how their barks they alternate in a lighter and darker color. I haven't seen one in a while. There's not much of those types of trees. There's not a lot of those trees around here. Anyways, okay, like the painting of the scenery. I walk between the shadows, slip through pools of light and dark as if I have somewhere to be, but no knowledge of what path might take me to it. All the while I wrap myself in a cape of red wool, pulling its rough spun fabric and fine needlework tight around my shoulders. My hands I rest inside thick sheepskin gloves. Ooh, that must be comfy. I'm just imagining. Right now it's at the end of winter now, so I'm now romanticizing the winter times with this beautiful writing of the scenery. Even with the snow and the mountain air in my face, the thrill of the hunt keeps the bite of cold at bay. Ooh, okay. Hunting? Who are we hunting for? My heart beats with an unfamiliar feeling, a pounding, jittering rhythm. I shiver with excitement. I hope whatever's out there mistakes it for fear. Okay, so we have a character, we have a person who is purposefully trying to lure someone else in by pretending to be someone who is lost and vulnerable and weak, wandering endlessly through these woods in the wintertime. So, who will come and help? We will have to see. I sink my hands deep in the pockets of my skirts, running my gloved fingers along the edge of the deadly, sharpened point I carry. Ooh, okay, we have a weapon. In a strange way, it feels more totem than weapon. I suppose I seek no ordinary prey. I almost smile. Like my query, how strange. Oh, like my query, how strange to think that I too might hide my fangs. I thought I didn't recognize the word query how hyphenated, and it's like a dash, an M dash. Ooh, change in scenery. And so I wander on, trembling like a newborn lamb. It's a lot of commitment to hunt for your prey here. Do you know them already? I wonder how the beast might appear. Would it call out to me, in a voice nectar sweet, promising shelter. Would it lure me to its mountain lair, whispering honeyed words as it led me to a place where no screams can echo? Would it stalk me patiently, waiting for the moment I collapsed, cold, exhausted in the snow? As I wonder and wonder, I find myself growing impatient, the cause of my shaking turning from thrill to frost.
I mean, how long have you been out here? That's kind of scary. I can appreciate the dedication to the cause and the determination, but how long have you been out here?
When would it appear? Would it appear?
It says you, okay.
Am I not the image of the perfect prey? I'm running out of time. No, such fixations are a luxury I can't indulge. I cannot rush this. I need my mind clear. Surely there is some way of drawing its attention to me until it can no longer look away. I feel in my pockets for the small, sharp knife I'd use to whittle my weapon to its deadly point.
I can see where this is going.
What simpler way to entice a beast than with iron freshly drawn?
I called it. Also, I just realized little pointer cursor here is just a rotated, what are these flowers called? Like not lilies. They're like bell-shaped flowers, but they're pretty. And I also like that we have the moon phases over here from waxing to waning. It's very nice.
But did I need to go so far? Perhaps it was not flesh it was hungry for. Perhaps I simply needed to call out to it.
Let's go against my initial choice and say draw your blood.
I draw the short knife from its sheath and roll up my sleeve. Without hesitation, I press the blade against the back of my forearm, watching as a thin line of crimson blossoms against my flesh. The pain that comes is a sensation I'd long forgotten. I almost cry out in surprise. Hastily, I take a long ribbon from my hair and wrap it up tightly around the fresh wound. Red against red, it entwines around my arm, like the bark around a birch's trunk, like the skin of an apple, peeled away with a knife.
Ooh, beautiful imagery.
A sudden sound echoes from the distance, shaking me from my thoughts. I turn. No longer do I hear the wind through the trees, the hooting of an owl, or the scurrying of a squirrel. It is as if the world has gone completely silent and still, save for a pair of carefully approaching footsteps.
Okay, to keep us in suspense for a moment longer, I like that imagery where our character is bandaging themselves up with their ribbon, and that totally, in my mind, means to me that this is Little Red Riding Hood. And if this is Little Red Riding Hood, then Little Red Riding Hood is luring in their prey. But they might be enemies, the prey, the hunter and the prey, and vice versa, the prey and the hunter, depending on whose perspective we're looking at. So that's really interesting. Okay, let's continue.
It is seconds longer before I see it, a pinprick of light in the distance, a blur of white like the snow swirling around me. Gradually, it comes closer, blinking, flickering bright. All the while, I stay still, so still like my heart has forgotten its beat. Closer it draws, closer still, until finally I make out its face, framed in white lock eyes. Framed in white, lock eyes with it. With him. Oh my God. I can't move or turn away. I can't even breathe.
My gosh, who are you? Gorgeous, but you're my prey. You're my enemy. I like this green that you have. This is like a ribbon. Okay. What are you doing out here?
That eye stares back at me with so deep a green.
Okay, so green ribbon, green eye, generally in like white hair, white cloak, and clothing. Very cool.
Are you lost? He says, and like a spell broken, I shake out of my daze, the wind and the sound of the night roaring in my ears. His voice cuts it all, clear as a bell. Are you hurt? The figure wears the skin of a man. A skin so impossibly fair, it reminds me of the broken statue of an angel I once saw in a ruined castle. The surface of its marble, pallor cold as ice, when I brushed it with my fingertips. How flawlessly smooth, how otherworldly, worldly, that lonely thing left behind in a place of broken granite and brittle stone. I wonder if the being before me is as cold to the touch. He dresses from head to toe in white, shrouded in white, from his fine wool coat to his fur-trimmed cape and soft leather gloves.
Ooh, okay, chose a monochromatical look. That was intentional. Love to see it.
Even his hair, cascades of gentle curls that frame his face, shine silver, a radiant halo lit from the glow of the lantern he carries in his hand. The other he extends to me.
Okay, silver-haired man. I'm gonna change the voice because the first time around I want it to be more masculine sounding. But sometimes if you've followed me long enough or you've seen any other video, the back and forth with the voices happen, so apologies as that happens.
Are you lost? He asks again. I won't hurt you. I'll see to your safety, I promise. The sound of his voice makes all the worry in the world melt away. It is so musical, so warm and calming, like liquid honey. It takes all my will not to take his hand and offer all at once.
Okay. Well, I feel like we probably shouldn't say I'm not lost because that was the point of us pretending this entire time, right? And who are you? Because we're not supposed to know who you are, even though I feel like our Little Red Riding Hood knows who this man is. Okay, I'm gonna choose the first option.
Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, girl. Oh, wait. I love your red. Okay, so these are your ribbons. They're pretty thick. And your hair has like some flowers in it. Okay, so this is red. You're a red themed and you have your white theme going on. Okay, Snow White over here.
Who are you? I ask. Simply a traveler passing through, he says with the faintest hint of a smile. Soft, gentle, unthreatening. If I were naive, I would take his answer without question at all. But I am not. Here, alone in the woods at night. I could ask the same of you, demoiselle. Why ever did you wander here? I was searching for something.
That's the truth. How do you interpret that, silver-haired man?
Whatever it might be, you've come far. The nearest village is hours away. Have you a place to shelter for the night? No. I say as I quiver, as I fill my voice with the trembling of a lost, vulnerable thing. Lead me away. You have nothing to fear and everything to gain. Please, come with me. I'm sojourning not far from here. You can share my fire and stay the night in safety.
Okay, obviously I know things already, but like, does that happen? I mean, like, I get modern day, whatever stuff, modern world. I would not trust this man, even as gorgeous as he is. He's made out to be. You know, just have a little big, not even little, big alarm bells in my head going off right now. But our character, us, the person who's us, we're not naive. We were seeking out this man. Why were we seeking out this man in particular, though? I want to see a little bit of that here in the demo if we can, but we'll have to see.
I suppose I can't refuse such a kind offer, I reply, letting relief wash over my words. Show me your true face. Show me your fangs.
A vampire? I did not. If this is a vampire thing, I did not realize I stumbled onto a vampire thing. I love vampire things, especially lately.
Then please, good sir, lead the way. With his free hand, he offers me his arm. I hesitate. Such closeness would avail me to my weapon, but just as easily put me at his mercy. How quickly could he strike back? With that strength, could he stop me if I failed?
I feel like I'm picking all the first options right now. I'm gonna... Okay, I need to save. I'll be back. Would it be suspicious if I don't take his arm? I feel like it's also more prudent to not take his arm. I'm gonna go with this one.
I can walk just fine. I stammer. As you wish, he says, withdrawing his arm.
Oh my god, this is so hard for me to go back and forth for the narration because I feel like I want to do one voice for the narration because this is the character which is like showing like their true intentions versus like their dialogue is obviously like, wow, I'm so vulnerable and like thank you for saving me type of a lighter voice in a sense. And then this man's voice, I just have to keep somewhat consistent.
No disappointment colors his tone, ever even and warm. Gently, he beckons me towards the path he approached from. The wind swirls around us as we walk, my footsteps following the imprints of his boots in the fallen snow. His form from behind is radiant, almost aglow with silver moonlight. The strands of his hair shimmer as he walks, his cape, snow white, trails behind him like a shroud.
Ooh, okay, different sprite here. A little bit more closer. Ooh, we can see more details. I like the little leaf buttons or something right here. Oh my gosh, I keep trying to use my wireless mouse, but it's dead. Like these leaves. Okay.
He stops every now and then to check that I still follow. Each time he gives me a small nod or small smile of encouragement. Every stare from that deep green eye makes my heart thud in my chest. I grip my sharpened point gently within my pockets. The motion is not suspicious. It is cold tonight, a cold I so rarely feel, soaking through the thin wool of my cape and shawl. How warm his cloak and furs look, yet he does not, never does the breath from his lips fog the night air. I'm not sure he breathes at all.
Okay, interesting observation. Maybe he's not?
I pull my wools tighter around my shoulders. It does not seem he will strike me yet. I must stay alert. Ready for wherever or whatever he lures me to. Might I ask your name? He says, after we have walked some steps from the clearing. I have worn names like there were ribbons in my hair, dozens of names in all colors and shapes. To give one away now would be a frivolous thing. But names, even false ones, create familiarity, bonds. Would it be wiser to keep my cards close, heart closed?
I mean, I think you can.
You may. You may, of course. My name is...
Oh, but I have to come up with a name. I'm not ready. My usual go-to is... Well, I'll just put Marie. I was gonna say Blue, but I don't think that's... That'd be kind of funny. I'll put Marie.
My name is Marie.
Marie.
He repeats, savoring each syllable. That's lovely. He sounds like he means it, like there's a heart that still beats beneath his borrowed skin, that flutters at the sight of goodness and beauty, that thrums at the sound of a maiden's name. And yours? I ask. Gabriel. He smiles. Like the old angels, I murmur. If I were naive, I would wonder if he is old enough to remember the angels, the days long before the mist descended, before any gods and their icons who watched from above fled as the undead and unsated plunged the earth into pestilence and death and rot.
Oh, okay, so there's a lot going on there. So there are... Okay, so there's definitely creatures that are undead. And this has been happening for a very long time. So it makes me think that our Marie is someone who's hunting these undead creatures. Which would make sense why the drawing of blood was a choice and immediately called Gabriel to us. So something happened though. Why are there undead creatures? What exactly happened? But this has been happening, or this has happened. This happened a very long time ago and it continues to happen. So who knows? We'll have to see more as we continue.
I would wonder, had he ever plucked an apple from the branches of Elysium, tasted its sweet flesh? But I know better. My parents were fond of the old tales, both of them for different reasons, he says with a wistful smile. What reasons? My father valued the strength of divinity. My mother valued their tales of virtue. A name can be a gift, and I treasure mine as I treasure their memory. You must miss them. You must miss them. I do, he replies softly. I wait, but he does not continue. It's not enough. I need more. Show me what lies beneath your skin. Show me the beast that you are. Now that you've asked something of me, I say, I believe it's only fair I ask you a question in turn. Very well, then ask away.
We can ask why he's here. He said he was sojourning. Purportedly. We can ask about his clothes. I mean, I'm curious about the clothes, but I feel like we should ask about his purpose here. I'm gonna save and come back.
You said you're a traveler, but why here? Why these mountains? This forest? I often come to the mountains to hunt. I love the air here, the pristine wilderness. Of course you would, you wild thing. But sir, your clothes are too fine for a mere huntsman. You look fit to be, oh well, if not a prince, then a knight of the Queen's Guard at least. The Queen? There is no queen that rules these lands, unless you speak of the Mist Queen. The Mist Queen, a figure shrouded in fog, in mystery, like her name. Whispered around campfires in village squares, in somber tones, in drunken ones, in awe and reverence, but most often in fear. I've seen our knights before, marching in the wilds. Their pyres burn on the hillside for days. Do you believe that she's lived since the dawn of time? That she bathes in the blood of virgins to keep her beauty? Not for a moment. I laugh. You speak as if you know her.
Do you? Would you be afraid if I did? If I were a servant of the Queen? No? No.
I would call you a spinner of tall tales, good sir. I can scarcely believe she's an immortal at all. Who can remember a time before the mist fell? Who can say whether the Undying still walk this earth?
She says that. She's like, but they are, and you are, and you're here, and I'm gonna hunt you down.
Yet if you are only a servant, merely a pawn, I would think her unfit to be queen of anything at all. How poor her sense of virtue is.
You believe me to be virtuous?
Well, here you are, helping a poor lost damsel in the snow.
It's only human to help others in need. It's only human to help others in need. Human. I mean, the phrasing here is interesting, given that most likely this is an undead creature / a vampire. Don't think I didn't notice that.
I shake my head. Some would disagree. Some would seek an advantage over others. That is human nature, my hunter. In any case, there is something gentle about you. I cannot think to place you among her scores of blood-soaked knights. He looks at me for a long time. I wonder if I had said too much.
You are a strange girl. A strange, sweet girl.
A girl? I'm well past 20 summers, but do not think to ask how many, gentle hunter.
I shall not. Have you a family, then?
I did, though I was a stranger to them at first. They welcomed me into their home and became just like family to me. I love them very much. But those days are gone now. He gives me a look of sympathy.
I'm so sorry. I like these expressions we're seeing, not on just this character sprite for Gabriel, but also for Little Red Riding Hood. I'm like you. I once had a wife and son, but plague took them from me. I'm sorry for your loss.
I consider what to say next.
Ask about his family? Or ask about his past.
Have you always been a hunter? Have you always been a hunter? No. In fact, for much of my life, I hated the thought of harming anything, be it man or animal. My tale is truly a dull one, demoiselle. We have nothing but time. I wait for him to continue as we walk. My father was a knight at arms, but he died without land or fortune. I was very young, and so my mother was left to raise me alone in a humble countryside town. I knew from an early age I didn't want to live a martial life like my father, so I apprenticed to be a healer, then studied medicine as a young man. How old are you? Eventually I returned to that small town, met and married a shepherdess with the loveliest voice in the world.
Good to know about that for next time, for that first choice. Except, don't know if I could sing.
And spent my days treating coughs and fevers, making poultices and tisanes, mending wounds. Until the plague, I finish. He is silent for some time. It was a horrible, cruel thing. To call it a sickness would be to call the ocean a mere pool. It did not spare any of its victims. It turned healthy, smiling folk into dying husks within days. I tried to save them. You did all you could. I can't imagine how awful it must have been. I lost myself for a time, and after that, I found I could not return to the healing arts. I could not mend another bone, touch another skin, without feeling the rot beneath my fingertips. That's terrible. I'm sorry. Even the wind is silent as we walk, the crunching of our footsteps the only sound in the night. It's a relief when he turns the conversation away. I've spoken enough of unpleasant matters. Tell me something about you. What do you enjoy?
Fond of needlework.
I'm skilled with the needle, if I might say so. Your clothing, did you make these? I did. I embroidered them as well.
Ooh, embroidery, fun.
I feel his gaze run over the moons and flowers stitched into my clothes, and feel a sudden warmth creep into my skin, through my skin, to be the object of his stare. It truly is lovely work. I feel I could live a dozen lifetimes and never hope to match your skill. I laugh. You don't need lifetimes for it. It only takes patience and a willingness to persist, even if you'll accidentally stab yourself countless times. What would you do if you had lifetimes? If you could walk the earth without fear of death or aging?
I would look for someone to spend it with. I would learn all that. I feel like, realistically, it'd be both. But we kind of already said that, it doesn't take lifetimes to learn things. What would we do? Are we trying to trap you? Question mark. I guess we should go for number one. I don't really know what my objective here is. I know my objective is to hunt the prey, aka this silvered hair man, aka Gabriel, but I don't know exactly how to do that. Let me save. Okay, I'm gonna go with option one.
I would look for someone to spend my days with, that we might share in all the joys of the world together.
But you, deathless, would outlive them. Watch them grow old and wither away at your side.
Then I would spend my days searching for a way to share with them the gift I was given.
All while their precious time slipped away. All while seconds to them would be days, months, years. Forgive me. I've burdened us with heavy topics again. But I thank you for your insights.
Of course, gentle hunter. I searched my mind for another question, another distraction, when suddenly a howl, long and low, cuts through the night.
Wolves. Stay calm, he says in a hushed tone, taking hold of my hand. Fear makes me clutch it tightly as he sweeps his long cloak around my shoulders. From one beast to another. I am calm. I should be calm. But the fear that I feel, it isn't mine. It runs beneath my skin like a rapid coursing river. It twists inside the cage of my chest. I will my pulse to slow, but it does not. My mind cannot quell the instincts of a living heart. The howls grow louder, closer. I can feel them ringing in my ears. Your scent is too strong, I hear him murmur. He searches through his coat for something, a small pouch, and pours its contents over the lantern. The flame burns brighter as thick, earthly scent fills the air. It smells of ash and smoke, iron and dust. This way, he says, leading me by the arm. We come to a large pine. Its ancient trunk at least three grown men wide. With a firm but not ungentle motion, he presses me against its trunk, sweeping his cloak around us. Oh, okay. Fun CG. I feel the rough bark my back through the wool of my cape, feel his arms around my shoulders, holding me tight. It takes all my will not to struggle, not to scream. It's all right, he says, melodious, soothing, a shepherd calling to a lamb. This will hide your scent. Listen to my voice. Hold on just a little longer. This close, I could hear his heart beat beneath his chest. If only he had one. I could burn beneath his arms, if only they were not so cold. Cold to the bone. I just saw as the CG faded, like, wolf's eyes were, like, over here. Very cool. We stand there for what feels like eternity before the howls grow silent, and only the voice left on the wind is the whisper of the trees. I break free of him as soon as he lets me go, shaking. Too close. Not yet. Not here. Forgive me. It's not far ahead now. Can you walk the rest of the way? I'm fine, I say, steadying myself, fighting the quiver in my voice. Onward I follow as he leads me through the trees. The cottage comes into view as we turn the bend. Where? I don't see the cottage. It's okay. Different scenery. Almost as if conjured for the mist itself. Here it is. I say a cottage now. It is a small, quaint thing, a lonely, strange thing to see, placed there like it was plucked from a fairy story. Its wooden walls are aged but sturdy, its sloping roof coated in fresh snow. It should be the home of a living, breathing woodsman, not a creature of the night. I had never guessed you would hide yourself in a place like this. It's beautiful, I say. It's the only place in the world I feel truly safe. Its heavy door creaks open as he leads me inside.
cottage is small, with short square windows and low walls, but appears well kept, a solitary home. Strings of dried herbs and fruit mint, horsetail, apples, hang from the ceiling.
I just read that weirdly, but whatever. History.
Strings of dried herbs and fruit, mint, horsetail, apples, hang from the ceiling.
I'm used to having dashes like with a space, that's why. But that's just a minor stylistic thing. It doesn't really matter. I just get confused when I'm writing right now, but I will adapt. It'll be fine.
A table and stool sit at its center, stacked with clay pots and metal bowls. A stone hearth covers one wall. A narrow bed lined with furs sits against the other. A bookshelf filled with a dozen or so well-worn tomes stands proudly in a corner, even as it teeters beneath jars of more herbs and flowers.
Ooh, I like the bookshelf and stuff. It's a cute little place.
The scent of incense, sweet and heady, fills my nose as he lights the kindling in the hearth. The embers cast his skin aglow, his silver curls and pallid features painted softly in warm light.
Ooh, I like this scenery, this illustration.
He unfastens his long snow-white cloak and tosses it onto the stool. Carefully, slowly, I slip my hands free from my sheepskin gloves. I feel his gaze, his green eye watching me as I unravel my shawl from my pale throat. My fingers, still numb from the cold, fumble with the clasp of my cape. "May I?" he asks, stepping towards me. I nod, shaking. His hands, even gloved, are deft, swift, a surgeon's hands. They free my shoulders of the deep red wool, set the fabric aside on the narrow bed. His gloved hand lingers near my collar. I do not move an inch. I scarcely breathe. Show me your true self. Show me what you are. He brushes my cheek, a whisper of a touch, like he's afraid to hold me, like I am a statue that could crumble away beneath his fingers. "May I?" he asks again, barely audible. "Yes," I whisper back. He brushes a lock of my dark hair behind my ear, then gently, slowly, brings his lips to my skin. They are so soft. His touch is like the snow that lands on my face, carried by the winter wind. Cold but light, feather light on my cheek. Gentle. Far too gentle. I don't want this delicate tenderness from him. I am not a fragile thing.
Oh, okay. Cute. Like the CG. What are you gonna do, girl?
I fold my hands around his neck, feel the downy softness of his hair as I slip my fingers through its ashen strands.
Oh.
He wraps me in his arms, holds me tightly, kisses my hair, trails his lips down my neck. I shiver. I tremble against him as his gloved hands run through my tresses, down my spine, feeling for the laces of my bodice. He pushes me, gently, onto the furs, turns me onto my stomach as he parts my hair. Found you. My queen. I yelp as he pulls my hair sharply back from my head. Tears beat in my eyes as his hand presses against my skull.
Oh, she's the queen. I did not see that.
He holds me still as I thrash beneath him, traces with his fingertips that mark on my skin I'd forgotten lay at the base of my neck. The crooked crescent moon that I've carved in my flesh with a sharp iron knife. Might I humbly ask, as your loyal consort, says the Ashen Prince. He whispers softly into my ear.
Okay, different look.
The fire crackles and roars, casting flickering shadows around us. but I feel nothing but ice run through my veins. There's no hunger in his voice, no warmth, no desire, only white, cold fury. Did you think you could fool me, Celine?
End of demo. Okay, so I did totally not call that she is the Mist Queen? Why would you be hunting him, though? I mean, I guess that's going to be more clearly laid out in the full game. Why were you hunting him, and why was he hunting you? That has to do with something way back when the mists fell or something. So you're the Mist Queen. You're Celine. That's very interesting. That was really cool, though. Like, I really like this. This is from Indices. Or Indices. Ooh, look at this. I will have to do the other choices. I don't know if it all leads to this. Oh, wait. I think I saw there's 2 variants of the demo. So we'll have to come back later and see what happens. Anyways, that was really fun. I really love the vibes of this one. It was like beautifully written, and I feel like the atmosphere and all of that was like just really nicely painted from the writing and with the music and like obviously the art and things. And the interface, I love all the illustrations in the interface, so that's great. Wow, I don't know, I'm just kind of shocked. I definitely want to know more, and I'll have to look into when this game is going to be fully released and what's the timeline looking like. But this is so wonderful. I liked everything about it. I don't have time today, but I'll get to hopefully finding the other variant ending for the demo next time, or another time. Anyways, thank you so much for watching me play Snow White Ashes. I'm gonna have to think about that title and what I've just learned and come back with some commentary for next time. If you liked the video, please like the video, press the like button, and also if you want to see me find and play through the other variant of this demo, then please subscribe. I also play other visual novels on my channel. If you like to see those, that's another reason to subscribe. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye!